I honestly believe that the person who doesn't want anything is happier than the person who has everything. Simply because it is more natural for all of us to start from zero and finish with zero without adding any material possessions. In 2026, there are no more than 8 to 9 different businesses you could start. Almost everything else will be left outside the general public simply because the margins will be taken away from the AI. Because at the end of the day, you buy something, then you find something else that you like, then you switch it with something else, and you keep switching and changing, switching and changing. In the end, everyone most likely will return to the beginning where he doesn't really need anything. Just look at old billionaires. They don't have material possessions. They don't even hold expensive jewelries, watches whatsoever, right? So the main point that the person who doesn't want anything from the get-go is much more happier than the person who has everything, because the person who has everything at this very moment tomorrow will start missing the new things that he has to replace with something new. It's this circle. And the main idea that, if you are capable to understand here, is that we all have needs, right? That are almost the same, but we have different wants, right? We all have the same needs, but we have different wants. And the wants is what actually changes your life trajectory. This is what, some people want to rob a bank, some people want to do crazy stuff, right? This is what actually changes their life. This is why the wants is what you really want to focus on. The wants is what changes your professional path, your lifestyle, and your future. Most people are just focusing on the needs, right? On things that are doing on a daily basis, but this is just 50% of the goal. Uh, if you really think deeply, we all share the same needs, which means that you really don't have to pay attention to the needs. But if you focus 100% on the wants, then you have much higher chance to achieve happiness, because you're focusing 100% of your time, focus, energy on only 50% of the formula, which is only what you actually want in life. And I truly believe, someone the other day told me a quote that was absolutely amazing. Uh, it is better to prepare yourself for an opportunity when you're not having one than having an opportunity and not be prepared, right? It's absolutely mind blowing how simple it is and how true it is. But people doesn't want to prepare. If something doesn't seem obvious that it is going to happen to you or you have to deal with, people prefer simply to postpone, not prepare, not pay attention, not learn more about it, and understand there's, of course, limited memory capacity. We're pretty overwhelmed from a lot of information on a daily basis, but you need to create a stack of your mind where you're able to act and react very, very fast, considering that if you focus on your wants, this will change your life 100% for good or for bad. The people who are not focusing on what they want in life are the people who are waiting something to happen. This is why they end up on a job that they don't know why they're there. They spend 50, 60 years. You see these people sometimes being interviewed. You work 50 years for the same company. And if you ask them why, they have no clear example. They said, I started here in 1940s, and I worked there until 1999, right? And they have no clear reason why, because they didn't focus on the wants. This is why it is very, very important. You have to sit down, grab a pen, write down. Don't focus on needs. Needs are coming naturally, common sense. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, the need of shelter, the need of cleaning my room. All these needs are common sense. They come from your natural human instincts. But the wants are not natural. The wants are kind of built, kind of influenced by your surroundings, by the area where you live. You don't really think that the people who live in the mountains are wanting Rolex watches or wanting, sports cars. No, because their environment doesn't influence them. Their environment probably influenced them to have like a house or like a small tent in the forest or have a small ranch or have a small, I don't know, mountain bike or something. So your environment influence your wants. This is also a very interesting cheat trick that you can identify, especially if you have like a close friends. Talking about very very close friends who share a lot of their dreams, their objectives, their goals. You will see kids like they usually do in school. They copy each other. First of all, they copy the way they speak. Then they copy the way they walk each other, the way they dressed, the music they're listening, and that's a influential connection and network, which continues on adult age as well. Think about how many of your friends bought the same or similar watches. Some of the friends bought Rolex or Cartier or whatever, and he influenced directly or indirectly other people to also spend money on a watch. Or they bought a car, and other people also got influenced by, got exposed to what is the feeling or what is the actual uh, emotion of owning a car. So it create a new want in their atmosphere, right? Before they weren't thinking to buying a car, buying a watch. It was not a thing, but they got influenced by their environment. This is why you want to perfect your life. You want to perfect exactly what your dream life looks like. Because every time when you go on Instagram, you see these very interesting, cute business shorts or reels, private jets, and you go to the comment section. Everyone, oh, my dream jet, my dream life, my dream this, and people do nothing about it. Why? Because they don't have the wants written down. You see, everyone has a dream, but no one has a plan. You heard that before, right? Everyone has a dream. I dream to one day have own a black jet, like you seen this black mat G900, right? Gulfstream. People dream to have like a yacht. People dream to have a pilot's license. People dream to own a hotel, but they just dream. They don't have plan how to actually get things done. And when you don't have a plan, you're waiting like these people who spend, like I said, the entire life working for a company, not sure why, not sure why they didn't, try to work in different company, not sure why they didn't start their own company, not sure why they didn't get promoted, not sure why they didn't get raised, working for 40 years, right? So many different questions. What their life would look like if they move to a different city, what their life would look like if they choose to work in different branch of the same company, what their life would look like if they asked to work in different position in the company. It's simple questions, but everything comes down to one thing and one thing only. You analyze your wants. The remaining 50% of the formula. You concentrate heavily, you write down, you look your environment, your friends, your coworkers, the place where you live in, what people are actually doing. You might disregard some of the influence you might not like if I have my friends, if they get passionate about buying Gucci tracksuits, sure I'm not gonna get excited. They're not gonna influence me because that's not who I am. But you need to learn to sell something different. We have a high perceived value. Leave alone all the plumbing, HVAC, roofers, all these businesses that are in the middle of nowhere. Focus on things that you can actually upcharge substantially by providing something absolutely, genuinely outstanding. Take, for example, my company, sixreport.com, right? We provide business intelligence reports. Let's say tomorrow BlackRock opens Bloomberg terminal and sees that there is a new company that goes public, White Rock. And let's say they want to find out, okay, how this company actually raised capital, where this company came from, which are the founders, which are the equity partners, which industries they're actually focusing on, what kind of experts they're using, are they using in-house or overseas experts, do they have international offices, where is the headquarter, what kind of banks partner with, do they have government lobbying, like all this information that is very very interesting on the competitive side on an extremely high level, being on Wall Street, being private equity, Uh, Even on the startup industry, we had a lot of companies who want to study their competitors. Let's say you're a VC firm, you're a venture capital firm, and you want to find out that these three startups that approach you, apply for funding, different seed rounds, A, B, C, D, you want to find out before you invest in these startups, do they actually have a proprietary technology, or there are many other startups who are much better than them, already operate, already curve the market, and you be better off investing in the other startups that are already gain traction. So this is why we charge a bunch of money. One report starts from 1,500. So it can go up. There is a recurring programs and systems where we can actually provide more services. We can shoot this information. We have a special tool that actually shoots this information from other softwares to extract or scrape from your site or your company. But that's not a pitch for this video. I'm just trying to explain that when you find a specific niche where you're much more uh, approached and much more achieved, and you have much more in-depth knowledge, and you have expertise, or you have a very proprietary technology that you discovered, that you built from ground zero, you can charge much more. Because if we provide this type of a report for some of these VC firms and they saved $10 million by not investing in these 1, 2, 3 startups, right? The report that costs three, four, $5,000, it's absolutely nothing, right? It's a peanuts. It's a write-off. Again, when you're able to serve to very unique niche audience, people who do not really bother how much they should pay for your service, because your service is so unique and it's very hard to find anybody else who is doing it and doing it accordingly. Not just promise something and you deliver nonsense, right? You promise something and you usually over deliver. Watch my other videos. We believe in over delivering. Average report could be 15 to 20 pages. We're going to give you 24, 25 pages. We're going to give you a CEO summary where we're going to give you the layouts, which you're going to simply delegate to the board of directors, that they should go to individual managers, project or product teams, and everything will be executed on the way. This is why you need to understand there is so much fight and so much competition in the lower level businesses, where almost everyone who have no experience building business so far is starting with the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest companies. They will go high level. They will use already pre-made, pre-built templates for some of these softwares and try to sell them as a service to somebody else, which is nothing wrong with it. But remember, when there is a high competition, all the profits usually are competed away. This means you cannot charge more than your competitors, which means that you usually have to provide more and you have to charge less. This is bad because you cannot really focus on your business evolving and innovating, because you also have to focus on competition. You have to focus on market structure, on market pricing. You cannot come up with pricing out of thin air. You know, you have to know what to offer, what packages should be on the market, what each package should include, and of course the delivery. Can you provide faster delivery? Can you provide more qualified delivery? Can you use tools that no one else uses? Can you build your own in-house tools? We have built so many in-house tools, and you know, if one day we decide to shut down the business and just sell the tools that we're using, it will be also at least 3 different startups with huge potential. But this is proprietary technology, which I believe we're not going to be interested sharing for the public. But the main idea is that when you build something that you feel very confident that there is nothing better on the market, you can charge and you can put all of your time and effort building and delivering the product. We don't have to bother about competition, right? Who is our competitor? I couldn't think of, right? But when you're building a business that is very on the beginner level, when you think about providing leads to roofers, providing leads to HVAC companies, providing, let's say, AI assistants or customer service bot to dentists. All these like low-hanging fruits where it's like millions of people, even people outside the US, are using this strategy to pitch US companies. So imagine even if you're here, you're not only competing with people that are here, you're competing with people overseas as well. And they're so excited, right? You will see that the more fierce competition is on the lower side. The lower you get on the sophistication, on the tiers, the more fierce competition you get. You will find people from whatever third world countries buying US phone numbers using VPNs. They're gonna go all these crazy scams and schemes and systems, and they're gonna send a millions of whatever. I saw a guy using a crazy mailbox system, rent out mailboxes, VPNs. He sends like a million emails a month. Do you want to compete with these people? For what? For $49 a month. Sit down. Call all of the smartest people you know, regardless do they have business experience or not. Just make sure that they're really the best and the smartest, the brightest people that you know. Sit down, have a glass of sparkling water, and just start brainstorming what they really want to build, what they don't mind building, what they enjoy building, what they want to see on the market as a service or product that doesn't exist today. This is how you guys come together with something. And again, do not try to copy or to go into the niches. That there is a bunch of tutorials, there's a bunch of information. You want to try to build something, there is no information online. You Google it, nothing. You use Perplexity, use ChatGPT, use Claude, use Anthropic, use Gemini, nothing, no information on it. This is your green flag. This is your uh, light bulb moment when, okay, no one has built this. Point number two, who could potentially be my client? You're gonna go on Gemini, you're gonna create a simple landing page, and you're going to test this. You can test it for free, or you can test it through Facebook ads. This is your easiest validation, and this is the first steps that you can actually create and carve your own niche market. Think about it.